this time. Hey,
Yay.
Karen.
Hello.
Yay. I don't know if anybody was here last time. It didn't. All this stuff didn't work. So anyway, I didn't say this last time, but for anybody who's new to lives or new to being here, we only know you're here if you type something into the chat. So if you want to let us know you're here, let us know where you're from or what you do, please feel free to do so. We love to know that there's somebody in here with us.
Yes.
Yes. Ah, happy Wednesday.
Yeah. Happy Wednesday. It doesn't feel like Wednesday. That
I know.
Monday holiday thing is always interesting, even though we worked. Just, being reminded constantly of the businesses that weren't open.
Right. Like my mail.
Yeah.
I didn't have any mail Monday, but I worked all day, most of the day. So yeah, Mondays are my busiest days. And then the week kind of progressively gets quieter, which I intentionally plan.
That's great.
Yeah. So anything new in your world? Or what is new in your world?
Yeah, boy, there's a lot. So on the personal side, got to watch my granddaughter's first ballet recital, which was just way too cute. And I'm going to wear
pictures.
Yeah. So that was really, really fun. And part of the fun part of listening to the video or watching the video over again is listening to the older brother critique, which is just too funny.
Yep.
And it was and it was all fun. He was giggling about it and stuff. So that was a lot of fun. And I just kicked the year off. We are busy around here. As Mike was mentioning to you, some new rentals, listings, all kinds of great stuff going on business wise.
That is so awesome. So happy for you guys. Yeah, and that's really good. And we were talking about how they were referrals. Hey, David, I love when you show up, David. Hello, David. So back to the referrals. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Referrals.
Yeah. It's just such a great way to do business. And including a great way to attract business too, right? The activities it takes to attract referral business are so much more appealing to me than the activities that it takes to attract strangers.
Right. Exactly. Well, we were saying, like for my business, I have a new client that was a referral that started today. It was our first coach call. I have another new one that is a referral starting February. And then I have a lead off of Facebook that keeps rescheduling. Right. So it's just different.
It is very different. Yeah. And just, the trust that's there right out of the gate is just so amazing. And for both of us, that's very important in securing a client is when they trust us.
Right. Exactly. Yes. And they deserve to have a good coach. They deserve to have a good broker. They deserve to have a good, realtor in their corner while they're selling or helping them buy. It's what they need and want. And okay, without overly bragging, you and I fit that bill.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. Well, we worked hard for it, right?
Yes. And, it's interesting. I have the opportunity, as you know, to work with other agents on every transaction. Most every transaction. Every now and again, we handle both ends. However, it's really interesting to me to watch how others do their business. And, I always look at it as ways to improve what we're doing and or make sure that we're not doing something that is being done.
Right.
And I think that that's incredibly helpful to bettering the skill of a real estate agent, right? If they will actually look at it open-minded and look for ways that they can see that they're doing something similar to that, or ways to put guardrails in their own business to make sure they don't do that.
Yes. And what makes you and my clients and many other realtors too, I'm not just saying my clients, however, I will brag on them, is of course you guys have you have your credits you have to update every year and do, all of that, or every other year, depending on the state that you're in, right? However, and I notice a lot with my clients, it's like, well, what else can I do to be better? Better listener, right? Better communicator, more clarity, setting boundaries. And all of that is so important when establishing trust.
It is. And I would say a good amount of that, if not all of it, is, what you teach us, right? You hear our gaps and help us fill them in. And I mean, one of them that comes to mind when you talked about listening is, most certainly the levels of listening,
right?
And what that does for us with our clients, right? Like actually really hearing them.
Right. Exactly. And it's crucial to establishing trust, because they need to know you're good at what you do, right?
Yes.
And you are. However, they need to, you got to match, I'm good at what I do with the actions. And then you also have to sincerely care about them. And you and I both care tremendously about our clients, right? Yeah. And I don't know if you know this or not, being a certified coach, and I have 2 certifications, I have to have so many hours every year that I have to mail in. So over the weekend I did 2 courses, and I still have more to go, but I do them so that, because I do not want to wait till that last minute that I've done so many times, right?
Yeah.
I know you know what I'm talking about, right?
I do. I have a deadline coming up. Being licensed in 2 states as a broker, there's a lot of continuing education for me. And somehow they just sort of all aligned this year, which it's fine.
Yeah. Well, this year I am determined to do one every weekend. So, because I have to do 40 hours. So I do not want to wait till the last 2 weeks to figure out how am I doing 40 hours, right? Because I've done that in real estate at the last minute. Yep.
Yeah. Well, I think the true difference is, are you just getting through it? Or are you getting something from it?
Correct. Right. Yes. And I have so many courses to choose from. So I'm being very intentional. Like I just took an AI course that counted towards like 3 hours. It's just, being super intentional with what I'm learning.
Great.
And not just getting through it or finding an easy one, because that's not who I am. And I know that's not who you are. No. Would I do it if I had to? Sure. But that's not, that's not what I want to do this year.
There was the continuing ed that I did for California, which a couple months back. Very interested in this one section, had questions that didn't have anything to do with real estate. And I thought that was real interesting because they were test questions. And so if you answered it wrong, you could end up not passing your real estate course. Right. I found that very, very interesting that was in there. And I've not taken the time to ask any questions as to why it was there.
Yeah. Well, and also what I find interesting is every MLS, every state has different rules, around their testing. So my son-in-law just got his real estate license in Phoenix, and I think, don't quote me on this, but I think he had to go take the test. He passed every one, but he had to do it 3 times. He had to do it 3 separate times, and he couldn't do it all together.
Interesting.
So it's like, here's a section you have to take, and then come back next week and take this section. So he's done, but he was just so frustrated because he wanted to do it yesterday, right? Right? And it was just like, no, you can't do it that way here. So it's interesting.
It is very interesting. And I just started chuckling because it took me back to when I took my the first broker's exam, right, which is where you get the license. So we've been talking about the continuing education to get the license. But I went into the place for it to take the test, and they want you to take everything off, all your jewelry. And I thought,
I've been there. Yes. I had
this thin little bracelet on, and I thought, if there was anything written on there, there's no way.
Yeah, but we had to keep our sleeves rolled up. I mean, it was intense.
It's and a little I don't want to say not intimidating, a little distracting, I would say. Because I thought to myself, really? Like, people actually come in here to cheat on this?
Mm-hmm. Of course.
I know. Silly.
Yes. All right. So you and I did not talk about this beforehand. However, this has been on almost every single one of my coach calls today because I'm on a roll about it. David and Karen and Mike can participate too if he wants to. By any chance, did you see the 49ers Seahawks game Saturday?
Okay, yeah, I was still.
That was not a game.
Yeah, I was.
No, it was not a game. However, and I am.
What am I supposed to take from it?
I grew up going to the 49ers, living in San Francisco, right? So I wanted to cry after that first play. However, I saw it live, the kickoff.
Oh,
right? Did you see it? The kickoff?
yes.
Yeah. So I was on my couch going, oh my God, oh my gosh. And I was rooting for the 49ers, but who could not have been excited about that play?
Yeah. Well, me, because I was still dishing out trash talk on my text to my Seahawk fan friends. Like, and then I'm like, oh, I want to like take that comment back. Hold on a second. Sorry.
Okay. So David, if you're still here, did you see that play? And if you did not see that play, so on every single coach call, I've had my client pull it up on YouTube and watch it. Right?
Yeah.
David, if you didn't see it, if you don't know what we're talking about, go to YouTube and just type in the search 49ers Seahawk game Saturday kickoff play. So they just give you that one play. And then make a comment if you're still here, David, because I want to know. So this is a sickness I have, or it's a superpower I have, depending on your perspective on me, that no matter what I'm watching, I'm always putting coaching into it.
Yeah.
Right? Like if I'm watching a movie, I see the coachable moments, like that play. Once I got over, oh my God, because I Googled it. It's only happened 4 times in NFL playoff history. That's only happened 4 times.
That's wild.
And in all of NFL games, it's happened like 85. So it's just like, okay, so, oh, David, I know better that there's no football in Dallas. It might not have been a Texas team, but go Google the play. I know better. So what are the coachable moments in that play? So for anybody watching or hearing the live, or you hear it later, pause this if you're watching the replay, or just real quickly go pull it up. Karen, are you pulling it up?
Yeah.
Pull it up. Go ahead, pull it up and watch it. It's only 1 minute and 5 seconds.
Yeah.
So
I watched it happen. But I'm pulling the video up so I can send it to someone who's ready for a coachable moment.
Okay, I'm going to talk to Marianne for a minute, and I want you to find it and watch it. David, find it and watch it. I'm being bossy. Hi, Marianne. It's so good to see your face. Did you see the 49ers Seahawks kickoff play? If not, please go to YouTube, Google it, whatever, and just ask for the 49ers Seahawks Saturday kickoff play. So did you see it? Did you watch it?
Yeah. I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. There is 4 coaching moments in that play. There might be more. I'm only thinking of 4, right? So I'm not saying there's not 5 or 6. There's more than one. I'm putting you on the spot, Karen, and it's okay, and I apologize. So Marianne says on it. David, Marianne, post in the comment, what is a coachable moment in that play? And Mike, you can say it too if you can think of one. Can you think of a coachable moment in that play? Watching that play.
I think one of the most obvious ones that I see is never giving up, right? Like he broke through some blocks on that return.
Mm-hmm.
I think the other one would be to be ready, right? But that's probably not really one of the ones you were thinking of. That seems pretty simple.
Well, that's okay. I'm okay with simple. Like I said, there could be more than 4 things that I'm thinking of. So yes, yeah. I mean, so I'll share one, and I'll see if Marianne or David chime in. Is his laser focus. So let's do it this way. Marianne says, say it again, what to watch. 49er Seahawk kickoff play Saturday. So it's just this last Saturday. 49er Seahawks kickoff play. Is his laser focus. So think of the touchdown, like when the ump is, doing this, right? Touchdown. Imagine that's December 2026. This is where my brain goes when I watch TV. Right? So that touchdown was December 2026.
Yeah.
And when he caught the ball, it's today.
Yeah, that makes
Saturday,
sense.
right?
Yeah.
Right. Imagine the focus he had to get all the way down. I mean, if you watch that, I must have watched it 10 times. The focus on that man's face.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. And again, back to what I was mentioning about the, the things that he went through, right? Like he overcame what could have been some obstacles and could have stopped him, but he didn't.
So Karen, yes, take it deeper. Those are those flying objects, the shiny objects.
Yeah.
Or, hey, my kid is sick, or my grandkid is sick, or my mom has cancer. Yes, we're going to have those things happening all year long. And he still got through it.
Yeah.
Okay? Coaching moment number 2. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the harder question. I don't know if I want to ask it. You're like, oh my God, Tanya's so sick. What got him? What other than his focus? There's 2 more things that got him to the touchdown, to the December 2026. 2 more things.
Well, he was motivated.
Yeah. Okay, so there's another one. I didn't even think of that one, but yes, motivated,
focused.
You had a backup band.
Yeah. Yeah. How did I not get that one from you?
I don't know. Right? But he had a backup band. Look at all those people having his back, getting him through.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, it's okay. You're not you're not a certified coach. That's why I'm like, there's the backup band.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Without his teammates, he wouldn't have made it very far.
No. And then the first one, which we'll talk about a little bit more, and I know you're solid on this, is he has a solid foundation. Like he came prepared. It's what happened before the game, right? All his training, eating well, right? Setting boundaries on health. I mean, all the preparation, coaching, right? That he had to be able to have done that.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, that's it. That's all the coachable moments I have today.
I like it.
And now you'll watch the video and go, oh my gosh, it's all right here in a minute and 30 seconds or whatever.
Yeah.
I did not watch. I could not. I was too painful to watch the whole game. But
that
video was amazing. I'm glad I tuned in.
Yeah.
I watched it all, but it was painful.
Yeah. Well, and then so I coached one of my business executives, not a real estate agent today. And I've this video all day long. I've been on repeat with it. And he was blown away by it. He had not seen it. And he's like, I am giving this to my team because they're all so discouraged and they're showing up kind of sloppy right now. I'm like, yeah. So he's like, I'm on a mission to show them this video.
Yeah.
I mean, it really does make a difference.
It sure does. So take away one of your members of your backup band for a week, which is what I'm going through right now. Really, really shines light on the shortcomings.
Right.
For sure.
Or realtors that I coach. Oh, this is a perfect segue. Realtors that I coach that don't have a TC or an assistant that really, really need them.
Yeah.
Right. That's what makes life so hard.
Yeah.
For them. Right. So I do have a workshop, segueing into a workshop, and I was going to write down all the details and I didn't. It's in February. I don't have the exact date off the top of my head because I've changed it with my coach now twice. But I do have a workshop. It's time to hire. It's called It's Time to Hire.
Yeah.
And it's going to be anybody struggling with a TC or an admin or a runner, buyer's agent. We're going to talk about what's the fear. And then, quite a few, like 4 of my clients last year, I actually did interviews with my clients, did the interviews with them. And all but one person quit soon after, but it worked really well.
Yeah.
And, help with the ad, help with the checklist, the to-do list, what to train first. But the interview process was I added that to my value for you guys as clients. I'll do 3 interviews. I'm not doing 10. So weed through people, right? And then pick the top 3 and I'll do the interviews with you. And it worked really well. Ryan's assistant is amazing.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, it's really good to have another perspective, especially, in your position, because what our own shortcomings are, right? Which is
I don't need to hire another Karen. I need to hire the person who does the things that Karen doesn't do well.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Or also helping you delegate where you don't want to delegate.
Mm-hmm.
Like the perfectionist clients that have such a hard time delegating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until you
So do you have any workshops coming up? Because you did quite a few last year. What do you have coming up? Anything?
I did quite a few last year. And I don't have anything on the agenda. We kicked off last year with the 1031 exchange seminar.
Yep, I remember. Yeah.
Right. And I think that that's probably what we'll do again this year. It's just such a great subject.
Mm-hmm.
And unless an agent is doing them regularly, I think it's a great refresh. So even if you've heard it before, I think that's a really good one. Another one that we'll probably pull up soon is credit repair.
Yep.
We've got a great gal that does credit repair, and just getting our clients introduced to her and what she does.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely would want you to, I'm going to encourage you to intertwine or go back to back on, are you a first time investor? So an investing workshop and your 1031 exchange, right? Because there's a lot of people out there wanting to invest.
Yes, there is.
And there's a lot, and you and I were talking about this behind the scenes, there's a lot of people that have decision paralysis right now.
Mm-hmm.
Has that shown up for you? I know quite a few of my clients on coach calls today and yesterday, we've been talking about that.
Yeah. So kind of interesting, something that I see happening. For the longest time, people weren't moving because of interest rates, right? And then sellers weren't listing because they couldn't, the inventory was so low, and they didn't know where they were going to go or how they were going to find their replacement property, right? So interest rates have eased a bit, and it's getting to be a little bit of an old story if you're not moving because of that. And suddenly, people are wanting to move for more traditional reasons, except a lot of the excuses for them not moving have now been removed. And so now it's on them, right? And yes, I am seeing that. And it's very interesting. There was a lot of people who were waiting for the crash and all different things. And now we just have a very balanced market. And things are processing along at a more traditional pace. And so now it's actually up to sellers if they really want to move.
Yeah. I'm going to put up Taylor's comment, excuses. Well, you know how I feel about excuses. Yes. And my neighbor, I was having a conversation with my neighbor the other day, and her interest rate is 5% on her home. And she's like, okay, I feel like now I can sell my home because it's kind of, it's not 5%, but it's also not at 8 or 7.8 or where we were, maybe a year ago. So I know interest rate buyers and sellers are always looking at that probably first. I'm thinking.
I think so.
Yeah.
And, they almost can't help it because the media puts it under our nose several times a day. I wish the media would find something else to talk about in terms of the housing market.
Well, and there's some people hearing either, whatever social sites they're listening to, that they're waiting for the 3% again.
I know. Yeah.
Right. There's still people that are seeing that it's going to, and true or not, I don't have that crystal ball.
No, that's exactly right. And, this is an interesting time of year to talk about things like that, because you go back to 2020 and on this date in 2020, we didn't know there was a pandemic just 6 weeks around the corner. Right. So we were doing, all the things that we're talking about doing right now with our new goals and, looking forward and building our backup band, all those kind of things to hit the year's goals. So I quit predicting anything after that, after witnessing that. Right.
Right. Oh my gosh. In fact, I remember, I don't know if you remember, but I remember what I was doing the weekend, because I was living in California at the time. I was in San Diego. And I remembered what I was doing the weekend before the Monday when Gavin Newsom declared stay-at-home orders.
Yeah, I do too.
It was so intense. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. I was line dancing and I was teaching. I was in San Francisco teaching a 3-day coach course called Leadership.
Huh.
And then at night, my mother and I went to church and went line dancing. And then I flew home. I flew home Sunday night after the course was done. And then the next morning, Newsom declared stay-at-home orders. I'm like, well, I guess I had a last
Your last hurrah.
weekend.
Yeah,
Taylor said she was having a baby.
she was. And
Bye, Marianne.
I watched an interesting change outside the hospital every day when I went in to visit her. I think she was there 5 days. Like each day there was a little more happening outside of the hospital. Like the first thing, there was a triage tent, and then the next day they had little hand sanitizer.
Oh,
and then,
wow.
and it went to, but by the last day, everyone was being screened, and fevers and mandatory mask and gloves and all the things. Yeah.
But Taylor, you were lucky. Katya had Stella right in the middle of COVID. So Gregory couldn't go to any of her doctor appointments. And then when she had Stella, Gregory could be in the room with her, but nobody else. And then she could pick one other person to come in. So she chose me. So I could come visit. And so I went, because she was in the hospital for about 2 weeks, because Stella was 6 weeks early. And nobody could go to the NICU other than the 2 parents. But at some point I said, well, why don't you swap me out? Because your sister wants to come see you. So why don't you take me off the list and put your sister on the list? And they wouldn't let her.
Yeah.
Like whoever you chose was it. You could not keep changing it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting times. So yes, back to our rates going down. I don't know.
Yes. No, I don't know. And I can say, I can't imagine that ever happening again. But again, in this day and age, we never know. But why wait if you really want to get somewhere, right?
Well, that's I think the thing is that there have been a lot of people waiting a very long time to make a move, that either need to make a move to get closer to work again, or bigger house, smaller house, and suddenly that need, I think, is what I'm seeing is that the need to move is now bigger than the need to have the lower interest rate.
Right. And I know, so I'm going to segue into examples of when a seller, is stuck on a price, but their goal is to move by a certain date, right?
Yeah.
So the goal and the price aren't in alignment, right? Or the goal and being stuck on an inspection, right, aren't in alignment. And you are so good at realigning people. So do you have an example of that? Because I know how good you are at that.
Yeah, thanks. I think almost every transaction, there's a time where I have to kind of, take my client's shoulders and like put them back in position. And yeah, just, reminding people of what their goal was, because especially when we start getting into negotiations, personalities come out. Some people need to win, right?
Right.
Some people, they just get a lot more feeling in it instead of facts. And so, that's the thing I try to bring people back to. What was your goal? And that's part of, we talked a little bit about this before too, about listening and the level of listening, so that you can actually really hear what your client's needs are, what their fears are, really get a good understanding for all of that, so that when we start getting into these areas, I can understand like where they're going, where their mind is going, and why this is getting so overwhelming.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely have a couple clients right now that are really stuck in paralysis.
Yeah. Well, and so I'm going to say that you're good at leading, right? I mean, yes, they need to have a hand, they need to have the care, and, and you want to make sure that they're happy. But more importantly is you have to lead. And sometimes that's for, very heart-centered people. Leading sometimes is telling them right between the eye, like, here's your goal, right? We're here instead of here.
Yes.
Right.
And also sometimes it's really important to set a stage too, right? Mm-hmm. So as an example, if we're negotiating on price, and that's all happening obviously up front, If we, as let's just say I'm representing the seller in this situation, if we really stick hard to our price and we get the buyer to come up there, I start talking to them about the other places in the transaction where money's going to come up again, and maybe be prepared to negotiate a little bit there.
Yeah.
So again, like we're not laying down and taking whatever's given, but just setting a stage that there's a definition about negotiating, and they say the fine art of negotiating is where everybody gives a little bit.
Right.
But winning it all feels great. And so,
yes, however, there's other people involved, right?
There are, right. And so that's where when we do really dig in and we win big, I always try to really set the expectation that, okay, on the next round, let's just be prepared for that mindset. And that's
the goal is to make sure everybody walks away happy, not just your client, for example, right? Everybody needs to feel they got what they want.
Yes. I just helped a seller sell a home that she did not feel good about buying. She liked the home, but the entire process was not her way. It was the other way. And part of that came from her agent not representing her well. Right. And so she started home ownership. The first day she put the key in the knob, it was sour to her. And she stayed there for a couple of years and just finally was ready to not have it anymore.
Yeah, that's sad. It need not be that way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep. But well, she needed to have a better agent.
Yeah, she did this time.
Yeah, I suspect she did. And David, yes, sometimes people have fear, like they don't, if it's a first-time buyer, there's a lot of fear with first-time buyers. If it's a first-time seller or somebody who is not going to get what they have something in their mind they want to walk away with, right? What they want in the bank account when it's all done, and it may not be possible.
Yeah,
I think a lot of fear too.
Yeah. I think as agents, we hear that a lot. That's a very common thing. In particular, it's sellers and sometimes buyers, but the majority of the people I hear this from are sellers that start off with, this is what I need. Like you say, that certain amount in the bank account, or they pick a price for their house based on a certain need that they have. And really having that conversation up front and leading the way, finding out what their other goal might be, right? If it's only money, that can be difficult, but generally there's more there. Oh, did we lose Tanya? Well, it says we're still on air, so I guess I can just keep talking about along those lines of negotiating for other people's behalf. And that comes back to when I was talking about your listening skills, and make sure that you're really tuned in and really hearing what's important to the client, because otherwise it's really hard to bring them back to center.
It's okay. You're back, and I'm saying goodbye. So anything you want to say before I say goodbye again?
No.
No? Okay, let's wave, sign off, and thank you everybody for showing up today.
Thank you.